Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturchio and Chris Gueci.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode and edition and chapter of the Mojo Market Report right here on a Thursday. It is Dave Sturchio, it is Chris Gueci, and of course, A5, Anthony behind the glass here at Chop Studios. Hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's doing well. Guess what, everybody? The waiting is over. The NBA is back in action tonight. We'll get into that in a little bit. A lot of surprise cuts happened in the NFL yesterday. As Anthony reminded me today, he's like, by the way, guys, the combine is in a week. So all of a sudden, we are right back into football. I love that. It felt wrong not talking football. We talk football every day.
You don't watch the combine, do you?
I do. I watch the underwear Olympics is what they call them, because it's these guys that are running these crisp routes and throwing these balls 65, 70 yards down the field, but they're all doing it in Under Armour and no pads.
I can't watch the combine because, again, just like most things in the modern day, we get it all cut up for you nice and good in social media. So there's really no reason for me to go there and just listen to like the Rich Eisen podcast. But in
I love Rich Eisen.
I love him too. But the Rich Eisen
show
is good. The Rich Eisen, I have to sit here and pander to the commercial breaks.
All
right.
It's
a tough watch.
I'll explain it like this.
Tough watch.
I think the combine is a good background thing to have on. Like at our studio, like we'll throw it on and then it'll, bang anybody that we're like, oh, I know that guy. Let's see what he can do.
Like, yo,
but like, all right,
guys, you gonna come over to watch the combine?
There's some certain things that I don't really get behind. Like, did you hear about this guy's hand size, foot size, calf size?
See, honestly, those are the types of things that I do care about.
Yeah, well, clearly, there's been guys that have been touted as have disability here or wrong there or this, that, and like they wind up being stars. So it's who cares?
Look, it's the combine. They got to make a story out of anything. I honestly I think it's cool because some people get to make a name for themselves and get paid over the week. But then, conversely, some people kind of ruin their paycheck by having a bad showing at the combine.
This is why some of these guys don't run, and they don't want to show things, and they don't want to do the broad jump, and they don't want to,
Smart.
I guess if you're touted already to be a first-round pick, sure.
If you can do nothing but hurt your chances by doing bad, don't give the NFL teams anything ever to be able to throw in your face and use against you, because they will.
What about, all right, so combine is a spectacle. What about pro days? Do you like agree with the participation in pro days? Like, let's just, for instance, Anthony Richardson decides, I don't want to go to the combine, too much attention over there. But if you want to come to the Florida Pro Day, I'll show out on my own field.
Look, I think it's up to the player and his agent and his I guess coach at the time, college coach, to figure out what the best approach is. But it's up to them. I have no issue with a guy doing this or doing that or not doing this or not doing that. It's their career, and if they are getting good advice on somebody saying, hey, you're in a really good spot. I see you at a top 20 pick right now. If you go out there and you throw a couple bad balls, you might be in the back of the second round. So
conversely, there are guys that are supposed to be in the fourth and the fifth round, and they absolutely dominate. And all of a sudden, you're starting to hear whispers that they could be first-round picks. That's what happens at the combine as well. So look, a lot of owners, obviously all the owners, all the GMs, they're all present next week for the combine. We'll preview some of that stuff next week because, again, it's right here and it's in front of us. We'll talk NFL in a minute. But first, like I said, the NBA is back tonight in action. A full slate of games. I know a lot of people were bloodthirsty for this over the last couple days over on the socials. They wanted the NBA. Yesterday would have been a really good day to come back because there was literally nothing. But today's the day. And there's a couple games I definitely want to look into. I do want to say that I just read an article on the old ESPN, ESPN.com, reporting that Steph Curry will be reevaluated and probably will miss another week or so. I asked the question, I begged the question to you, and I looked at his stock. He's the second highest guard rated on the Mojo market, which is great. Great position for him to be in. This injury has not messed with his overall stock at all because he is Curry after all. But what I will ask you is, the Warriors are 29-29. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're basically playing 500 ball across the board, right? This guy misses another week. They're hovering around like the 8, 9, 10 seed, right? I mean, so like, is this like, yo, get your butt back in there and get on the court because we might miss the playoffs? Or is this precautionary tale? We'll go on our run towards the end.
Well, they're looking like at least a play-in right now, but it is jumbled in the, it's a big game tonight. They got the Lakers. The Lakers could close a little distance, and it's turning into the playoff stretch run right now.
It is.
A lot of decent teams, but I think the Warriors will probably be safe getting into at least a playing game, and the Timberwolves. Look, the back end of the Western Conference, anything could happen right now. The Mavericks, they're not playing well right now, and even though they added Kyrie, they did lose some of their depth.
That's another game I'm looking forward to.
And that's all the way up to the 6th seed. I feel like everything 5 and above is clear and free and clear. They're going to definitely make the playoffs, and I think the Mavericks are almost a clear playoff team too. But Pelicans on down. Yeah, everybody's got
Pelicans, the Timberwolves.
Everybody's got to win those.
But
games,
they're within a game.
Win some games.
They're within a game of the 5 seed. The West is tight right now.
The West is exactly. Even the Lakers still have a chance. You know, they just made some additions. See how that materializes down the stretch.
James, but he went out on record and said that these next 23, 24 games are the biggest games of his career. He wants to make sure that his legacy is intact, and he wants to get to the playoffs.
I mean, it's good for him to look at it that way. It's not, but
I mean, speaking of his legacy, I don't know if you noticed, but there are mock drafts that are starting to come out for Bronny. For his draft class, and he's projected to be a top 10 pick. So I'm very curious to know. Right, exactly. I don't know how good he is. I haven't really watched him play.
I don't think he's that.
I haven't really dove into the LeBron lineage of basketball players, but I will say they want to play together. So it begs me to question: do you think that LeBron goes
do they want to play together?
I mean, 100%. That's why he's in the league.
Or does LeBron want to play with Bronny? I don't know if I'm wanting to play with Dad. Honestly, like,
no,
you're better than me, bro. It's like you're LeBron, I'm Bronny. It's like thanks for the.
You don't think LeBron James could beat his son 1-on-1 right now?
He would completely dominate him. What?
LeBron would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, what do you mean? Like,
so it's like I wouldn't want to be. You know, it's like you're the.
Why would you want to play against him then?
How rare would it be? Could you imagine if T. Morant was better than Ja Morant?
Yeah, I mean that sucks.
You know, it's like having your dad be better than you at basketball in the NBA, and then the realistic expectation of if you're a top 10 pick, you might be a bust. You know, like you got to actually come out there and perform.
I can never beat
There's
my
a lot
dad.
of stacked up against Bronny right now.
One-on-one against my dad, my whole life. Skyhook. He killed me. I couldn't block it. There's no way.
I don't think I've ever lost to my dad in one-on-one in basketball.
Oh, you know what, dude? You're so full of baloney. There's definitely a chance that you lost to your dad.
I'm being honest. I am not the basketball player by any stretch.
I know. I saw you warm up that one time, that charity game we worked out.
First of all, you didn't hit a single shot.
I was making it rain out there. Are you kidding
me?
There's
video, so there's not even a chance that you hit a shot.
Definitely video of it. Of me just making it. I was wet from the 3-point line.
I don't think Dave knows the meaning of the term wet.
Let me tell you something.
You were sweating. You were very sweaty.
You didn't let me finish.
Yeah.
I was drenched because I can't run up and down the court anymore. But anyway, I am looking forward to the Dallas Mavericks game tonight. San Antonio's obviously had a very disappointing season, but Dallas needs to keep winning.
Yeah, they got a nice little home stretch coming up.
I'm curious to know
if they could put it together.
Who?
The Mavericks.
Oh, I thought you meant San Antonio's because that's a lost cause. They're like 30 games under 500.
But yeah, the Mavs.
Tonight, as a matter of fact, there are some liquid props, and I think you guys need to definitely get interested in it because that's how you make some money on the regular, on the night time. And I'll just dive into a couple of them that are already listed actually right now before the market opens. How about that, huh? They're on the ball over there today because they want people to get involved right now. You have to download the app. Very simple, very smooth. Look at that. It's just a smooth app that we have here. They're focusing in on the Memphis Grizzlies and the Philadelphia 76ers game. So the way I look at this is this. The liquid prop right now that I'm looking at is Ja Morant's points. Right now, right now it's up, I think. I'm not.
Look, I'm fading Ja Morant.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. He's coming off a bad performance against, in the All-Star game. And I know that nobody really cares about the All-Star game. What I will say is, over the last 2 games against, or just the one, they played Philly once so far. He had 28 points that night. So that's the reason why, if you look at his splits against other teams, like there's definitely a couple teams that the dude excels against. I don't know if Philadelphia is that team considering, the defensive stature that they do have, Embiid being underneath, and just Ja Morant's more of I understand he's a finesse guy, but he can also
I want to find
kind of drive to the paint.
Stats here because I saw some interesting stats on the Wizards. I mean, not the Wizards, the Grizzlies, where they're right here. They're 20-17 against teams that would make the postseason this year, and they're below 500 against teams that fit into that category in the West, obviously, and then including to 2-10, 2-10 facing teams that would be a playoff team on the road right now. Philly is a playoff team. They're home. Philly's home, and Memphis is on the road in this one. And Philly right now going into the All-Star break, I don't know if there was a team playing better outside of the Bucks in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to fade Ja Morant based on those things right there. I think that they're going to struggle a little bit coming out of the gate. Philly's, like I said, they've been rocking, and it's a tough place to play on the road. They haven't been playing well on the road. They're the number 2 seed in the West, but I feel like there's some wolf tickets surrounding Memphis for sure.
Well, I'm a big Ja Morant guy. I'm not sure if I'm playing that tonight, but what I will play is Joel Embiid. Reason being, last time played Memphis, scored 35 points. Right now is what I'm looking at the Mojo Market. He's set at 32.4. So I think Joel Embiid has himself a game. The last time I said that, the guy got hurt and he was out for the game. But I honestly think Joel Embiid, who has had a pretty significant season, he always does. You know, the guy's shooting 63%. 63%, man. Like, so the guy, over the last 5 games at least, he's, again, one of the best elite players in the NBA. And that's one of those, I don't want to say safe because everybody has their off nights, but that's one of the guys that I'm definitely focusing in on tonight as far as the Grizzlies and the 76ers game, clearly. Moving on to the Warriors and the Lakers is another one that you want to keep your eye on. Klay Thompson, 2 games against the Lakers. He's only scored 16. He averages 16.5 points. So when I look at Klay right now, today I don't see it being his day. He's got an over/under 24.27. You know, he's averaging 16 points. The Warriors are not playing the greatest basketball. I'm kind of fading Klay. I feel like the Splash Brothers have kind of haven't splashed a lot.
I might actually ride it. I think that it's a little elevated because I also think Wiggins is out, right? I know Steph Curry, we already just talked about that he's out and going to be reevaluated at the end of the week. But Wiggins is out with I think an illness or something like that. So that might be why the Klay Thompson prop is a little bit up. And with no other guard, not that they don't have another guard, I also think Jordan Poole might be out. So
they're banged up.
Or no, it's Gary Payton's out. So they have 3 guards that are out. I think Klay Thompson's going to probably play 40 minutes, 45 minutes today.
What about AD? Any feelings about AD? 2 games against Golden State, he's averaging just 20 points. His over/under, his prop bet tonight is for 24 points. Are you in on Anthony Davis tonight against the Warriors?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So again, to me, you want to talk about a guy you can't even...
If it's the most
it's very hard to judge.
If this is the most
Davis
important stretch of LeBron's career, Anthony Davis is on that team. Yeah. And Golden State also, their splits, they're not that great on the road either.
They're not. So those are your NBA liquid props. Like I said, full slate of games tonight. We're excited about it. We'll go over some of the results tomorrow because of, it's going to be the weekend. And we actually have a list of props for you guys to bet over the weekend. So we're not going to leave you hanging high and dry on a Friday. We'll give you all that tomorrow. Moving on to the NFL. A couple surprise things happened yesterday. No franchise tag moves as of right now. Again, heavier rumors now circling for the Daniel Jones franchise tag. Heavier rumors now swirling for a Lamar Jackson franchise tag. These are the things that have to be done if you can't work out the long-term deal. Now, before we get into those guys, I do want to say that the Titans made some moves yesterday of significance. The reason why I say of significance is because they cut 4 players, 2 of them being guys that everybody knows and somewhat loves. Taylor Lewan, I know it doesn't really make much sense as far as the Mojo Market is concerned, but the guy's been a member of the Titans since 2015. He's been there for 7-8 years. That's a long tenure there, but I think they wanted to move on. They knew the cap number was a little too high. The one that surprises me a little bit is that the Robert Woods experience did not work out for the Titans or his time with the Titans. Based off the moves that the Titans made yesterday, they're saving $27 million against the cap.
So that makes all the sense in the world.
So now they're making some serious moves here. To be honest, though, and I said this yesterday, we were talking about this when he got cut, his Mojo stock went up a little bit. Is this free Robert Woods season all of a sudden? Like, is he going to land somewhere where he's going to be a better role player? Because if you look at the Titans, they're a run-first team. They had, just different aspirations as far as an offensive philosophy.
Obviously it's a financial thing, but I couldn't imagine that they were really binded down by Robert Woods' contract going into the season last year. Although he did come off of a nice Rams career.
He did.
But Robert Woods, I thought, fit the Titans' philosophy really well because he's one of the better run-blocking wide receivers in football, and he's got a willingness to do so. But for the reason his stock price went up is because the Titans just simply don't throw. I think they were them and the Bears were neck and neck in the least passing attempts in the league this season. So, if I'm a receiver, I don't want to be there at all. And I think it's a good spot for Robert Woods to now kind of go pick his team to finish out his career with. And he's going to be a good teammate. He's going to help out a locker room. I can promise you that. And he's going to help out a run game. Look, everywhere he's gone, they've been able to run the football.
Absolutely.
It's not because he's, the cog in the offensive line, but it does help having that next level. And Robert Woods, maybe he'll have another season where he could have 40, 50 catches in a year, but nobody's going to sign him to come in and be a guy or the guy. So
take a shot in the dark. Where's he go? Who needs a role-playing receiver, third, fourth guy, hat on a hat, good blocker?
I know what you're thinking. I know what I'm thinking.
I'm not thinking Dallas.
I would take him.
I would
in
too,
a heartbeat.
but I don't think as a fit.
Yeah. He's going to get a very small deal. It's impossible to predict. Maybe somewhere back out west because he's from, USC.
I got the Giants.
No.
I got the Giants with Robert Woods. They got nobody over there. I understand that they're building stars, or they're trying to at least, but they need a name. They need a veteran presence.
Yeah, but I mean, I get that, but they have some vets that have been there a little bit with Shep and Slayton. I don't know how their contracts.
Shep even? I don't think he's gone.
Is he?
I think he's. I mean, another injury, another ACL, back-to-back years.
Robert Woods is not fixing anything.
I'm not saying he's fixing
That's
anything.
just
I'm saying he's a locker room guy at this point. He's a Jimmy Palumbo of the team.
Maybe he goes back to the Rams.
Maybe that could be a thing too. Another interesting article I read yesterday on NFL.com is that the Raiders find themselves not as hard pressed as we, the media, think they are as far as finding a quarterback. Meaning, there could be a full year of Jarrett Stidham. Now, the reason why I find this interesting is there a chance that the Raiders, the Cardinals, these teams that, like, the Cardinals are in trouble because obviously Murray's out for half the year. These teams that look like they might be bottom of the barrel going in. Now, look, going into last year, I said the Bears and the Seahawks would be the worst two teams in the league. I was right on the Bears. I was completely wrong on the Seahawks. So now you look at these guys going into this year. Bottom of the barrel teams, I feel like, are going to be the Texans, even if they add a couple pieces in the draft, right? Or even in free agency. The Texans will still be a relatively bad football team, I think. The Raiders, if they don't do anything at quarterback. I don't know if Jarrett Stidham could compete in the West.
Well, look, it says, like, the Raiders may ride with. Well, they need to decide that
Quick.
You got to figure it out. If that's going to be the plan going forward, then Jarrett Stidham needs to be handed the keys, and the offseason needs to be his. But I just can't see that. That might also just be either A, bad PR or good PR. It depends on what their angle is. But I don't really know that there is an angle of this in the modern day, in the media age. Like, go get a quarterback. You need one. Jarrett Stidham's a backup. Newsflash.
I mean, he was not listed as a backup last year. In
Jimmy
his last
G?
week.
Full circle with McDaniels.
It could be a thing. It could absolutely be a thing.
With the system. I don't know that it's a help, but I think Jimmy G belongs in a system where the Jets would be a fit. Somewhere you need a good defense.
I think
the 49ers.
After looking around the league for a Jimmy G market, I am wholeheartedly in on option number 3 for the New York Football Jets. I am. Because I think that if you miss out on Rodgers and if Carr decides to go to New Orleans, it's a safe thing. He's a good dude. He fits the mold of New York, Jimmy GQ, New York City. This dude will be a hero.
If Zach Wilson turns out good, you already know how Jimmy G is handling that situation.
Are the Jets prepared to unleash Jimmy G and Zach Wilson out on the town in one night together?
Bro,
my God.
The idea that Zach Wilson is some party animal that's like painting the town.
He's from, well, not Brigham Young. Where is he? BYU, right?
Yeah. He's not even allowed to drink coffee in college.
Well, then, whatever. But I think that Jimmy G is tailor-made for a system where he could hand the ball off, he could sling it to his playmaking receivers, he could hit the underneath routes. He's not going to light up the 350, 400, 500 club every game. But Jimmy G, to me, has proven that he can win in this league. And that was with the 49ers. So if you look at the Jets, who look to me that they're ready to win now, I think they're a quarterback away, no? With Breece Hall coming back, and I understand, look, I did hear some flack coming back from Breece Hall. Considering he's coming back from a significant knee injury, the dude was on pace to be rookie of the year. So, like, my thoughts and my hype on a Breece Hall, Breece Hall was one of the first guys we talked about on this show because of the hype and what he's been doing. So, I think him coming back and him getting healthy, dude, sky is the limit for Breece Hall. If you're in the Mojo market right now, Breece Hall should be definitely 1,000% in your portfolio. 100%.
I would
1,000%.
Maybe
it's
not.
a bigger percent.
I would say yes, he should be. If you're investing in football players in the offseason, I would be invested in Breece Hall. But there's a lot of NBA guys right now that I want to put my money in.
So you're spreading around the NBA, which is it's logistics. We're doing it. All right. So Cynthia Freeland wrote a big article on the headline is restructure or release. Right. So like this is the debate as to who might get a nice new deal or team friendly deal or just outright cut. Goodbye. Thanks for everything. The top of this list is Zeke. We talked about him already. Scouts coming out saying he has like dead legs or no legs left. Like I don't buy into any of that no legs left stuff. He's still an athlete after all.
He has legs. We see him. But
yes, clearly, physically, yes.
They're just not. They're not going to be anything better than the tune of 3.3 yards per carry.
It's unfortunate, but yes, I mean he is a short yardage guy now. We talked a little bit yesterday about Jamal Williams, him being the same guy as Zeke right now, and the price differential is like $14 million different of what these guys are making per year. So maybe, look, do I think that the Cowboys can say, Zeke, here's league minimum. You can hang with us for the rest of time. We're going to cut up everything, and this is your new deal. Do I think that Zeke would sit there and be like, sure, I'll do that? No, I don't think so. Everybody's got an agent, man. Like these guys, they're all trying to get paid.
What I see ended up happening here is Zeke ends up signing that same exact deal like right as camp starts or right as the season's about to start. He's not even on a team, and it's like Zeke. What is Zeke gonna do? He could get Des Bryant out of the league by now. We don't know how this is gonna go with Zeke.
That's another thing
when you're a running
what a
back
comparison
and you fall off, you're done, bro.
When the Dallas Cowboys parted ways,
he won't take a pay cut. He's going to have to take a pay cut to go somewhere else because no other team is going to offer Zeke $2 million a year.
So if he wants to stick around with his best friend and not move out of Dallas, like these are the things you're going to have to do. And again, as a fan of the team, I love Ezekiel Elliott. Got a fat head in my man attic, right? Like this huge Zeke thing. I'm a big fan of Zeke and Dak and all these kids that they brought in 2016. But the time is running out for him to do big things. And you think it's over. I think
it's over.
I'm never going to bring myself to say, yep, cut him. I know the real thing.
Guys,
Tony Pollard was the better rusher on the team.
For all you Cowboys fans out there, it's a good thing Dave is not running the thing because he would not cut Zeke. And Zeke needs to get cut. Needs it. Needs to get cut. You know it.
God,
you know it. I know it. They all know it. Zeke's got to go. And it's not even like Zeke wasn't productive. We were looking at the stats the other day. He had a great career. That career is over.
Yeah.
Solid career. And would you say Zeke is a Hall of Famer?
No. Sucks, but no.
Then will a running back ever make the Hall of Fame again?
Will a running back ever make the Hall of Fame again? Yeah.
Who's active in the league right now?
Whew.
That's going to make the Hall of Fame if Zeke's not. Like, who's going to accumulate?
Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, maybe. What if he plays one more year?
I mean, longevity is a thing, but looking around the league.
Is Beast Mode a Hall of Famer? Nope.
It's a shame he should be.
Right, but
that speech would be amazing.
let's go. Let's talk about it. I mean, we could continue this debate.
I'm curious. I'm looking around the league right now. Is there anybody that's burst onto the scene? Derrick Henry.
Adrian Peterson's out of the league, but those are two. And I would say Derrick Henry is almost a surefire thing at this point.
Yeah. But if you look at the stats, aren't they similar? Zeke and Derrick Henry?
Like, I think Derrick Henry is just like when Derrick Henry
You can't talk about success. None of those guys have done anything.
When Derrick Henry was at his best, it was like he's one of the greatest NFL running. Like that season, he was arguably the best running back ever.
Yeah. Kind of curious. Dude, ready for this? Are you ready for this? Yards? Derrick Henry right now, 8,226. Zeke, 8,215. Bro, they're 11 yards apart.
How many carries apart, though?
Doesn't matter. Rushing touchdowns, 78 for Henry.
But Zeke had way more receptions, so he's, you got to give
versatile.
him that. Way more receptions.
I can't believe I hit that number right away. I was like 11. I was like 11. Yeah, I was just
So
busted.
is there a running back active outside of those two that's a Hall of Famer?
I would
Besides J.K. Dobbins.
I would say I would say McCaffrey. I would say
He's not.
You don't think McCaffrey, like based off of what the kid's done?
Going into this year, we had him as a bust. We had him as like, oh, he was really good and he'll never play again. But McCaffrey, definitely not a Hall of Famer yet. No way.
What about
Aaron Jones?
I know who's Frank Gore. And I know he's not playing anymore, but he's a Hall of Famer. He's going to go in. Right? So you'll say the running backs never make the Hall of Fame again. Peterson, Frank Gore, those guys will get in.
I'm just saying it's
going forward.
It's going to be very hard for a running back to make the Hall of Fame.
I think the average of life expectancy of a running back is like 3 years average.
Yeah.
So the fact that Zeke has played 6, 7, he's exceeded that completely. And the workload that this dude has taken on.
Yeah,
maybe
I
he
don't
is
think there's
cooked.
anybody out there denying that Zeke was a very good NFL running back. I think what people were saying is that Zeke was overpaid for the last 4 years.
It was a bad contract.
That maybe Cowboys fans valued him a little too much, at least some, because there's definitely a faction of Cowboy fans that were like very displeased with the contract, which I was even unhappy when the Packers signed Aaron Jones to the contract. I wanted them to just let him walk. I'm happy they did it and it worked out, but not really. You got nothing out of it.
So again, that's just the difference between you and I as far as our allegiances of our teams. Like I'm a big Zeke guy, and it's going to hurt me in my heart to see Zeke cut. If Gutenkoost went over there and said, "Hey, Aaron Jones, you're out," you would feel nothing.
I would feel it. I would always like Aaron Jones. I would be like, "Oh, that sucks," but I understand that.
Yeah, we all understand
the nature
the business.
of the sport.
I get it.
So I'm a Packer fan, right? So it's like, this is probably the right thing to do.
That's the same conversation I hear about, are you a Cowboys fan?
No.
Or are you a
but
Dak fan?
But I'm not going about it that way. That's just how I approach it. It's like, okay, I'll take it. They signed Aaron Jones. I wasn't like, are you kidding me? I didn't throw a fit. But I was like, all right, looking at it, if I'm the GM in a vacuum, I don't care about the fans. I do not care.
Wow.
You do a little bit, but realistically, you don't. You know, you got to make those hard choices, especially in the NFL. And bro, like there's certain things. It's like Pat Mahomes finally broke the mold of a quarterback winning a Super Bowl on his second contract without a restructure. That hasn't happened ever, right? So there's trends in the league that NFL GMs will not get behind, but the ones that do, they're going to compete every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
A couple quarterbacks on this list, by the way. She did list Michael Thomas as a potential cap casualty.
Didn't he restructure already?
I didn't see that. This article came out today, so she would have said it. Carson Wentz is on this list, along with Jameis Winston, as two guys to cut. Now, obviously, Jameis Winston's a clear cut. If Derek Carr lands in town, then Winston's out of a job. Carson Wentz, they're already talking Sam Howell for the future and a potential reunion with Taylor Heineke. Who knows? But, like, I'm looking at Carson Wentz. Is Carson Wentz the biggest? I understand he had that MVP-like season. He got hurt. This is my last topic of the day, and we'll get out of here. Carson Wentz, which I publicly love to bash because I just think that the Wentz-Dak comparison was just ridiculous from the gate.
Just like the Dak-Jalen Hurts comparison.
Who the hell's comparing those two?
Well, I could probably pull footage where I said Jalen Hurts is better than Dak. And you'd be like, are you kidding me?
Just like that?
Blew a gasket, smoke out of the ears, the whole nine.
No smoke here. What was I saying? Now you got me all riled up.
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz. Is he one of the biggest busts you've ever seen drafted that high since Jamarcus Russell? Bro, I know the one MVP season he gets hurt. Zach Wilson's been there for a cup of coffee.
But
Wentz has been in the league since 2016. 7 years of
I tried
garbage.
to like classify busts and like they're all really bad. But Carson Wentz was arguably an MVP before he got hurt.
But after that, you never heard of a good thing again.
He at least did that. Well, yes, RG3 bust. You know, he played one good season. It's a very similar comparison.
Yeah, but his coach drove him into the ground. You know what I mean? Like RG3's career was cut short by a bad head coach
and an injury or injuries that he couldn't get back.
That he couldn't get away from because of the coach.
Look, but also, I don't have a list of like the busts in front of me. But
we'll go over it one day.
There's been some bad ones. And
there was.
Coming from where he's at, if he was getting drafted out of like Alabama or something, but Where's he? North Dakota State or
I
something?
don't know. I mean,
Something of that effect.
but he was drafted so high, is what I'm saying. Like, he was drafted. You like that? It's just so high. Just like my voice on that moment. All right, look.
All right, we're done.
Yeah, we're out of here. So do us a favor. Follow us right now on social media and my squeaky voice right here. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, at Mojo, MOJO. And you can also join the Discord. And you know, it's funny, as I'm like reciting this Discord thing, go follow us on Discord. Our friend Jorge was here yesterday helping us out with the studio. And he said he was about to walk into the studio and he thought we were having a normal conversation, but we were actually recording. Do I have a different voice when I'm talking on the air than normal talk? Do I put some extra oomph in it, like a bass? Like,
it depends, honestly. Like if me and you were just having like a normal meeting about a pre-show meeting, then you're a little quieter. But if there's people in the building,
if there's an audience,
you're
I am delivering for you.
Say it with your chest.
Oh yeah! All right. Anyway, let's get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll go over the NBA results. Another full slate of the NBA. It is a feel-good football Friday. And it's really not, but maybe it will be. Who knows? We'll see what breaks tonight. Thank you guys for watching. For Dave Sturchio, Chris Gueci, A5, Anthony Behind the Glass, this has been another installment of the Mojo Market Report. We'll be back here tomorrow on a Friday.